Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thors Hammer, brought to you by VikeFans.com. I'm Viking Bob. I'm sitting in my basement like per normal and talking about my favorite team with some buddies. OBM, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Bob. Had a great New Year. And woke up this morning and felt about 30, maybe 40%. So made a nice recovery today, and I'm pumped up for this week's game. How about you, GD? How you feeling out there in the ATL?
I'm doing good. Drinking some beer here tonight. Got a little too intoxicated last night, but that's kind of what most people do on New Year's Eve. But I'm feeling good, ready to rock and roll, getting excited for the game this weekend, and it's kicking it, man. How you doing out there, Olson?
Well, I'm recovering too. I'm drinking some locally crafted H2O straight up on the rocks today because last night mixing cocktails, mixing cough syrup and whatever else I could get down the gullet last night. So this morning was a little bit of a bumpy ride, but we're feeling good tonight and I'm ready to go. Ready to hear what you guys got to talk about.
Well, we wish everyone at home had a wonderful Christmas and New Year's, and let's get into it. Talk quickly about the last game against the Giants, where surprisingly we put down 49 points. Teddy looked pretty good, threw the ball around real nice. Peterson looked good. Even McKinnon got his first 2 touchdowns of his career. And the defense was quite up to the task. So from that, it was a wonderful game in my opinion. DV, your thoughts?
I thought it was a great game. I enjoyed watching Teddy going out there flinging the ball around. Norv Turner mixing the game plan up a little bit, which was nice to see for once. We weren't sticking to just running the ball. At the beginning of the game, we were running the ball, and I was kind of wondering what was going on. But it was nice to see these short passes off these running backs and the option pass, the passes downfield. The pass that Teddy threw to Rudolph was a beautiful throw, just a laser down the middle, which I loved. But it was nice to see him mix up. The defense, getting them all back and healthy, it's a great sight to see. It's amazing how well this team can do when everybody's healthy and they set their minds to kicking someone's ass, because they truly, truly dominated that game last week.
Agreed. OBM, what do you think?
I think that was a good old-fashioned ass-whooping is what I think. I mean, Teddy came out. He's played 3 pretty solid games in a row. The defense looks pretty doggone good. Blair Walsh, I mean, this is the guy that, we were all kind of questioning early on in the season, and all of a sudden it looks like, he's having a career year pretty much. I mean, not quite as many 50-yard field goals as his rookie year, but I believe I saw that he's having the best year statistically, percentage-wise for field goals. Not extra points, obviously. He's been somewhat poor in that department, but guys, we've had the discussion, about Walsh, and there are people who are calling for Captain Munnerlyn to be cut prior to the season starting for some even, and I think we're getting the best of both worlds here. I mean, Munnerlyn's actually played really well the last half of the season. He was a little sketchy to start the season, but I think we're starting to click on all cylinders here. We've still got some injury concerns. Sounds like Joseph is going to be out, but overall, I thought we played the Giants very, very tough, and they didn't have Beckham obviously, but I don't think Beckham would have salvaged the Giants that night anyway. So overall, a win is a win. It sets us up for Week 17. I mean, this is the game that we looked at on the schedule and went, wow, that could really be something. And sure enough, it is. So we'll take it. Let's see what happens. I'm pretty pleased with the way Teddy's playing right now. So I have a lot more confidence this time around than a couple weeks ago when we played Green Bay and lost.
I got to agree on that. Mike Olson, you with us?
Yeah, I am. I was at that game. We had a little bit of a mini tailgate. A few members of our community was out there. VikeFans.com members. We had Pump out there. We had Papa Scott, Happy Vike, and it was a good time. It was cold. There were a lot of people out there that I don't think were realizing how cold it was going to be. I saw a few people wearing tennis shoes on concrete with that kind of cold. That's a bad idea. But, let me tell you, the fans showed up. People were festive. They were loud. They were raucous. The party was going. inside and outside the stadium. Purple Faithful and I, who were sitting there, we were both commenting on how full the stadium was, and it was great to see fans out there for what may be the last outdoor football game for the Minnesota Vikings here in the state of Minnesota. But as far as the game, man, it was a blast to be at. We were scoring on defense, offense. Teddy looked good. McKinnon was looking good as a change of pace back. Hitman doing his thing. It was just an all-around demolishing of another team, a team that had nothing to play for, a team that was looking pretty weak, like they didn't show up to play, but we did what we needed to do, which was handle the game thoroughly from the beginning to the end, and that's what you got to do going into the playoffs. So it was good to see, and I hope that it carries over into the next week.
Agreed. Off of what you said, that this possibly could be the last outdoor football game in the state of Minnesota, how do you guys feel about that? I mean, obviously because of the temperature, an indoor stadium is the idea, bring the fans there. But they've been playing so well outdoors at home. I really wish that they built a retractable roof.
I think it's a good thing that they're going back indoors. I think it's a good thing for the squad that we've proven that we can play outdoors in any kind of climate and win. I also think it's good that we're going back in, because I'll be interested to see how well the indoor climate will do for this team, because we have a fast young team. And to get them back on turf and indoors in ideal conditions, I think it's going to do nothing but benefit these guys.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree too. I mean, I think if there's any way that Peterson's going to stick around, it might make his next year, possibly two, even more interesting. Put him inside without the cold, working those old man joints. You know, we have to talk about how old he is at 30 years old. Well, let me tell you, I can still stand my ass around and walk around out in the cold, so I'm pretty sure when we go inside, he'll be able to move pretty good. As far as, the mystique or the environment, I think a retractable roof probably wouldn't have done it enough for us. Retractable roofs, typically in those types of environments, they end up closing them anyways. So I don't know that we would have experienced as much cold with a retractable roof, but I think being able to have the sunlight leaking in, being able to be nice and comfy in there, and having a fast surface, I think it's going to do the team. I think it's going to do them good.
Mike, I was going to ask you, because I know when they're first talking about building the stadium, and people are saying, "Yeah, let's go back to our roots, the outdoor stuff, outdoor football." Did you hear people saying quite the opposite here the past week when you're at the game, saying, "I can't wait to go back indoors"?
I mean, you hear it. Well, you hear people saying, "I wish we were going to be doing this," but I think that's a little bit of nostalgia leaking through more than anything. I mean, it's one thing to do it week to week. It's another thing, just to show up for one single week like that. And I have to wonder, some of these people, you hear these people saying this, and you wonder, how many of you are season ticket holders that are going to be there every single week when it gets to be that damn ass cold? So that would be my question: is are you showing up? Are you talking tough? Are you putting your money where your mouth is? Because I highly doubt it. There's no joke, the cold here in Minnesota at that time of year. It's beautiful in the fall, but late into the season, it's no joke.
I agree with you, because, even when I lived up there, I thought, this is cold. I'm like, yeah, it'd be fun for nostalgic part to go to an outdoor Vikings game, because it is a lot colder there than it is even in Green Bay. It's the furthest north city, I believe, out of any NFL squad. And but if I was a season ticket holder, I want to be sitting inside and enjoying myself a little bit more comfortably than sitting outside freezing our tail off, for three of the games every season.
I'd agree. Now, I think Bob probably has a little bit different take on that, though.
Nah, that's like I said. I wish they had a retractable roof, because if you're going up to a game there in September or October, it's still beautiful weather out there. You want to get some fresh air. November, December, when it's 20 below, I definitely understand close the roof. So right. The best of both worlds, in my opinion.
We'll see how those big doors do with letting some air in there. Hopefully they keep those open and get fresh air in there.
Yeah, probably a giant wind tunnel too. Maybe Walsh can hit a 75-yard field goal with the wind. Open the door.
Well, we're going to have to air it out when the Packers come to town, too. There's that.
That's right. That's the only team that flies to the plane with the plane door open.
All right, so let's start talking about the upcoming game. we get the NFC North Division title at stake. A lot of people saying we're better off losing because we go to play at Washington if Seattle loses as well, which they are rumored to be resting everybody. But if we win the division, and we play home against Seattle. So there's plus and minuses both ways if we win or lose. But my opinion, you have to go for the win. You have to start creating
you got to beat the Packers when you have the chance to, man. You got to take it every single time, don't you?
Absolutely. You got to start breeding winning teams here. You have to get the team to start understanding what winning's all about. It makes it an attractive place for free agents as well. We're going to have some money this year to spend.
I agree.
Even if we win tomorrow or Sunday against Green Bay and we lose the first round against Green Bay, it's a stepping stone towards the future. We're a young team, a couple of players away, and it's the new breeding ground is Minnesota. That's where we're going to go.
Yeah, I think you're dead on right with that. I think you hit the nail on the head. You can't breed a culture of losing to set up matchups because you still don't know what's going to happen, even if you do go up against the perceived lesser team. You got to take your wins when you can, especially when the division crown is on the line, and against your biggest rival as well.
I agree with that. Remember that New Orleans Seattle game from a couple years ago. Was it the Saints had the big winning record, but they had to go to Seattle, who I think had like a 7-9 record or an 8-8 record, and Seattle beat them. You don't know who's going to be the easy person to play here this week, and let's create a culture of winning up here.
Agreed.
That's all I want. I think Zimmer's done a great job overhauling people's attitudes and what we want around here and what this team is. We are not the Vikings team of 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 years ago. This is a team that is all about winning right now at all costs. And I think, I'm excited to see that. So I'm hoping they win this week. I really am. I'm hoping they go out there, and I don't think they're going to be looking for that letdown or like whatever type game. I don't think these players have it in them.
We'll see where we get to at the prediction segment.
We'll see. I get big numbers and small numbers in my head.
41-7?
Oh, buddy.
All right, so let's start breaking down the game against Green Bay. Obviously, we watched Arizona dismantle Green Bay, which was a thing of beauty to see. I really hope Zimmer got the game film on that and has made the plans to knock Rodgers on his ass half a day. And that was a great defensive game by Arizona. And you can see how bad that offensive line is. And, you got to turn Griffin, Hunter, Hendricks, Barr, whoever else you can, turn them loose and go get Rodgers. Knock him down, knock him out. That's how I saw the game against Arizona, and hopefully we do the same game plan.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta agree. You gotta go after. They're having some offensive line issues right now. A couple guys banged up, and I think we really gotta. I think we gotta blitz and keep blitzing. I mean, if you go watch that Arizona game, I mean, they were blitzing Rodgers. I bet 7 out of 10 dropbacks. I mean, they just went after him and they just kept hitting him, and you could tell he was completely rattled. So I would continue to blitz just like the Cardinals can. The other thing that I've noticed is Green Bay's run defense has not been very good. The last 3 weeks they've been averaging, giving up over 5 yards a rush. And David Johnson last week went down about halfway through the third quarter, but I think he might have gone for 200 if he would have stayed in the game. I mean, he was just absolutely destroying them. So I think the Vikings game plan should be the blitz the heck out of Aaron Rodgers. And the AP, I think, should see between AP and McKinnon, we should see about 30, maybe even 35 carries that night. I mean, this should be one of those games where the game plan should be to pound the ball, pound the ball, pound the ball. As long as they don't get down 14-0, that should be the game plan. Pound it, control the clock, and then when our defense is out there, get after Rodgers. So I think that's, really going to sum up this game. If we can stay in the game early and then just pound the running game, I think we've got a good shot to win the game. But if we get down, 10-0, 14-0, 17-0, it's probably going to be a long night. So key to it, get a good start, maybe get the, score first, get a touchdown, get a field goal, take the wind out of their sails, put a little pressure on them, and then get after Rodgers. And if we can do that, it should be a good week. And like you guys said, I agree. I think this is the game that you want to win, regardless of who, if you lose, the opponent might be a little lesser opponent like Washington or whatever. But I think this is the game you want to win. You want to beat your rival. And you kind of want to, let's be honest, Green Bay's, they're pretty much, the NFC North champion now. I don't know how many of the last, since Favre was there. I think they've won it, every year but one maybe. So
I think the last 5 years for sure, haven't they?
Yeah. And I don't know if Detroit squeezed one in there after we did one, but I can't remember. But it's definitely, you got the opportunity to knock them off their perch. I think this is a good year to do it. And Teddy, by the way, real quick, Teddy, completing over 70% of his passes on the year now. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a quiet stat that crept up there.
Yeah, sure did. I think at the beginning of the year, didn't he say that was kind of one of his goals this year, was to complete 70% of his passes? I think it was. So pretty impressive regardless.
TV, your thoughts?
This game, I think the key is, and I've noticed this with the Packers lately, and I've seen it on TV in a couple different sources, on a couple different outlet sources, that the key to beating Green Bay is actually, as stupid as it sounds, is having Aaron Rodgers beat you with the deep pass, or having Aaron Rodgers beat you with his arm this year. As beat up as those receivers are, they don't have much out there. I think we should put some confidence into our D-backs and our safeties and go stop the running game and rushing the quarterback at the same time. I think if we can do that, we're going to win this game. Right now, it's Aaron Rodgers has nothing to throw to. When he's under pressure, he's just a mediocre quarterback when he's under pressure. He's not calm. He's trying to get rid of the ball too quick. He's trying to make plays that he can't make. And I say, just let's go after this guy. They look beatable. It's the game they beat us. They ran all over us, and it was terrible. I just say, stop the run, go after him, make Aaron Rodgers beat you. I have confidence in our secondary to stop him, and I think Danielle Hunter's going to go in there and whoop his ass this week.
Certainly hope so. It's this team, I've been saying this for the whole season, that built on defense to dominate, and Hunter has basically come out of nowhere. Somebody on this board thought he was going to be real good anyway. I wonder who that was.
That was me too. Don't forget. Yeah, I keep telling my son, I go, he was a steal grabbing when we drafted him. It was a steal getting him. He came out a year too early. If he would have been in the draft this year, he'd been the first round pick. The kid is a physical specimen. He is cut beyond cut. People talk about how cut Adrian Peterson is. If you've ever seen Danielle Hunter, that kid is a specimen. But I'm glad we got him when we did, because he came out a year early, and that was to our advantage. But he's going to be an absolute stud.
Absolutely. So we all agree that the only way that we win this game is we knock the crap out of Rodgers with that defensive rush. I'm going to disagree with what OBM said about pound the ball. I think you got to mix it up more. We've seen what this offense can do. We saw what we did last time against Green Bay by trying to run the ball, and we got our asses handed to us. So I think this game, we're going to see a little more variety. I love the Noah Turner mixing it up, all that good stuff.
Do you think, Bob, that we've been playing possum on offense? Seriously, all year we've been running the ball. People think we're a run-oriented team, and all of a sudden now we're passing the ball a little bit more. Short dump-offs, intermediate routes. Do you think we've been playing possum so people don't have tape on us?
I think I mentioned that a couple of shows ago. Are we purposely being vanilla and winning, and then come playoffs we open up the entire playbook? Kind of hoping so, because it's pretty exciting to watch what this team's doing the last couple of weeks with throwing the ball and variety. I still like to see Patterson get involved a little bit. Like the way the Rams used Austin. They don't need to use that much, but a couple of games would be incredible to get everyone involved in that offense. Maybe, I'm sure there's some reason why he's not, but that's okay. I'm just throwing my 2 cents out there.
I don't know about you guys. I got a question for you. Olsen, you were at the game last week, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So now the play that just kind of caught my eye, that I looked and went, wow, you know, I mean, we've been watching Teddy all year now, and he's had some ups and downs. But I'll tell you what, that pass that he threw to Kyle Rudolph was absolutely unbelievable. Was that incredible in person to see? Did you have a good vantage point from where you were to see that pass and
yeah,
how he stood in there and delivered that pass?
Yeah, we did. And as a matter of fact, because we were sitting in end zone seats, right? And I actually was the opposite end of the field. But the thing is, you were able to watch the play develop so well. And you saw Rudolph. And I think Rick and I both at the same time looked at each other and said, there it is. And he delivered that thing with precision. I mean, that ball beat those two defenders in there. And I don't like to sing praises like, you know, the guy is superhuman or anything like that, but that was a hell of a play, a hell of a pass, and he delivers like that. It's going to be awful hard to stop him going forward.
I agree.
They're talking about his throwing motion early on the game on TV, but he's got an unorthodox way of getting rid of the ball. The guy still gets rid of the ball quick.
Who the fuck cares? All the stuff about the mechanics and everything else, nobody pissed and moaned about Jeff George's mechanics. They just talked about it because the guy could throw a fucking ball. Well, he's starting to deliver on 70%. Who gives a shit how he throws the ball, just as long as he can get it there?
Exactly, and that's what I thought. I'm like, just throw the ball. Everyone's like, he doesn't have the cannon of an arm. He doesn't need to have a cannon of an arm.
Nope.
You have a few plays a game that you might try to go deep. Okay, whatever. You know, but for the most part, you're throwing passes within 15 yards. That's where you're throwing the ball to. He's got pinpoint accuracy. He's got a laser of an arm doing that. I think this kid's going to be a stud. I still do. I think this kid's going to be excellent. I think he's just finally started getting in his groove a little bit here because they could tell. Because I don't know if anyone else noticed it. You see him on the sideline this week, like he had that little swagger to him a little bit, like kind of like, I'm not cockiness, but a little swagger to him, like I'm going to kick these people's asses this week. I know it. We got them. And he's starting to develop that more and more as weeks go by. Maybe it's just me.
Certainly hope so. I like seeing it.
I think one of the things that might be the next quarterback of the future in the NFL is going to be not so much the guy that can throw the ball the furthest, but who can deliver the ball to where it needs to be at the right time. And the reason why I say that is because the game has obviously switched to a passing game, aside from Peterson running like crazy. It switched to a passing game. Well, in turn, the defensive backs have gotten better and better and better. So it's going to be harder to just wing it up there and hope that your wide receiver can go and get it. That's not going to be enough anymore. You're going to have a quarterback with a good IQ to bolster whatever arm it is that he's working with.
Exactly. One thing another takeaway I had from this week's game, talk about the passing game, was I know Adrian Peterson dropped the pass earlier in the game. I was like, but when he caught that pass and ran for, I don't know, it was 20, 25 yards, something like that. That right there is what we need to happen. I hope they've thrown that ball to him all week in practice. If we can get him to catch the ball, watch out.
Well, and that kind of played off. Sorry to keep running here, Bob, but it kind of played off with my thoughts on what OBM said. And I agree that we need to have a heavy dose of Adrian, but I'm really hoping that doesn't start until midway through the second quarter at least, because I think Green Bay is going to be shitting themselves thinking about how piss poor their run defense has been. And they're going to load up. They're going to say, look, we're going to take one thing away from you. We're going to make you beat us. And I hope that we're ready to come out and throw over the top of that. Not downfield, but just throw behind it and get our receivers moving the ball so that they loosen up that running game, and then we can run Adrian for the rest of the game. That's what I hope to see happen in this game.
I don't care how they do it, just win.
I agree with you, Bob.
You know, the old saying the run sets up the pass. Well, the pass always sets up the run, too. So we have the best running back in the league, and our passing game has been improving. So hopefully it continues to improve, and just become more balanced, and teams can't take away one without getting killed by the other. You know, then when that happens, we're a team to be reckoned with. I mean, I've said all year that we're built for next year. So we'll get our playoff appearance this year, and we'll do our best, obviously. hoping we win a Super Bowl this year. But I think after the season's over, whoever we finish, another great draft, some money to spend on some free agents. It'd be nice to fill some holes and just basically dominate for the next decade. It's our turn.
I agree with you, Bob. This team, I'm excited about him. I'm not expecting us to do anything in the playoffs this year. Obviously, anything can happen, but I'm pretty excited about what's happening here in the whole change of culture and in every aspect of the team. It's very refreshing after the years and years of punishment we've been put through.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, I think, anything can happen in the playoffs. I mean, I really think the next 3 to 5 years, I think we're going to win this division pretty regularly. The next 3 to 5, we're going to be very solid, I think. And, we talked about this too, it must have been about 5, 6 weeks ago. We mentioned how good that draft was, and we asked, did anybody have a better draft? And I think the further we get into the season, I think it's become pretty apparent that our draft last year was absolutely incredible. So once we get Trey Waynes up to speed, it's going to be scary how good this defense is going to be in another year or two. It's going to be pretty impressive, I think. And Zimmer's a big part of that. I mean, we went from 31st. We basically took Jared Allen out of the equation, put Everson Griffin in. We went from 31st to about 11th in a year, and it's just going to get better and better, I think. So we're not quite there yet, but we're getting there, and we're getting there fast.
Definitely agree with that. And it's a good feeling to sit knowing that you're getting better every year, and it's like, okay, I can't wait for next year now, because it's about time. We've suffered long enough as Viking fans. It's when's our turn? Well, hopefully it's real soon.
I agree. I'm glad to see the window opening rather than shutting.
Agreed. All right, guys. Want to pick some scores now?
Of what, the Vikings game this week?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I've been so up and down on the team this year, and I broke the jinx, and all of a sudden I came back and started calling blowouts again, and you know what? What the hell? I didn't pick anything last week, and look what happened. It was total domination by the purple. This week, I'm going to take the Vikings to win the game this week. I'm going to take them to win. Actually, kind of not in a blowout, but it's not going to be as close as I originally thought it was going to be. I think we're going to win 28-17 this week.
All right. Mike Olson, your pick.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little closer than that, but I think the Vikings are going to come out on top, and I think it's going to be a few late game scores by Packers to make it as close as it will be, but I'm thinking more 23-17 is probably what it's going to look like for me.
OBM.
Well, I guess we may as well go 3 for 3 here. I'm going to go with the Vikings, but I think it's going to be a hell of a game. It's going to come down to a field goal, and I think Walsh is going to nail it. And I'm going to go with 27-24 Vikings.
I'm on the Vikings bandwagon again this week. I just rebuilt it with all the holidays.
You got the duct tape out this week, Bob?
Duct tape, paper clips, chewing gum.
Going to MacGyver on the bandwagon?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to say 27-20. Nothing spectacular.
Nice.
Just, a good solid win. That, we tell them who the new boss is. New sheriff in town.
I think you're right. Bob, I couldn't agree. I think this is a momentum changer, not just for this year, no matter what happens in the playoffs. I think this is a statement to Green Bay that, you know what, we're done being your doormat. We're done. Listen here, we're the new big kids on the block. We're going to take you down this week.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I think all 4 of us think it's going to happen, so it has to happen, right? I mean,
that's right.
We all. I don't think we've ever all picked the Vikings because it's always one of us going. I don't think it's going to happen. So here we go. Our balls are all on the line right now.
We all picked them in week 1. Hang on, I'm going to correct my pick now. No, I'm going to go with this week. It's time for breaking jinxes and history. Let's do it this week.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know, this past week, I don't know if it was just me. This past week of games, though, was it the ultimate football Sunday for everybody else? To me, it was like everything wanted to happen happened. Every single thing that wanted to happen on Sunday happened. Or this past weekend, it was beautiful. You know,
it was. I agree.
Carolina losing to Atlanta, you know, awesome. New England losing, awesome. You know, Arizona putting the smackdown on Green Bay, awesome. The Vikings with the blowout victory, awesome. It was a great day for football. I haven't been that excited about a day of football in I can't remember how long.
Same here. I went to work the next day, and I have obviously a Patriots fan there, and she have a Seahawks fan there. So I walked in smiling, you know, hey guys, how's it going? Shut up.
Did you eat shit for breakfast with that shit-eating grin all day? Or?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Nice. You know, one other thing I want to add, guys, you know, we're coming up on week 17. We're playing a meaningful football game, week 17, and it's been a while since we can say we've done that, but it's pretty awesome feeling, and I've had a great time with you guys this year, and we've had a lot of fun doing this, and hopefully we can continue to do it again next season, and maybe, you know, during the off season as well, but it's been a great year to be a Vikings fan, and it's fun to watch them win. It's fun to watch them grow, and it's great to finally feel like we've got some of the right pieces in place, and especially at that coaching position, because I really am a believer in Zimmer. I think that coaching staff has done an outstanding job. So it's been a pleasure to work with you guys, and hopefully we win this week and you know, get some wins in the playoffs, and who knows, right? You never know.
Oh, OBM, I want to say that likewise, it's been great working with you guys. But back to your coach comment on Zimmer, is there any other coach in the NFL that you guys would rather have right now than Mike Zimmer for this squad?
I think it's him or Arians. I mean, both those guys to me are the two best coaches in the NFL right now. I mean, you can flip a coin on who should be coach of the year, but these teams that passed up on Arians and Zimmer, they got to be kicking themselves right now, huh?
Good.
I agree with you.
You know, I mean, the only guy I would probably throw in there as well would be Belichick, but, you know.
Would you want him to be the coach? If tomorrow they said you can have Belichick or Zimmer as your head coach, who would you go with?
No, I'd stay with Zimmer. Because he built it. This is his team.
Yeah, I agree. This guy's done such a great job, and I love his attitude, you know, and you can see that the players, even watching the 96 questions that Brian Robinson does, the players talk about like the Grinch with him at Christmas and all that. You can tell that they know he's hardcore, but they love the guy. You can tell he loves his players as well. He's so old school, and I love it. And he's got this team playing beyond any expectation I could have ever put in place for this guy this quickly. He's done a phenomenal job with this squad. He's a great coach. I love having him on our side.
I have to agree with that.
I think that you know, Zimmer has been a big influence on a lot of these younger guys as well. So I mean, Hunter, I think part of the reason we're seeing such good things out of him right now is probably because Zimmer has been around and coached them up, and I think same for a lot of these young guys. So I know Trey Waynes has been he's been getting some flack for not, taking that starting job yet, but, you know, we all knew he was pretty raw too, so I still think that Trey Waynes next year is going to be a starter for us and a solid player. I've got confidence that he's going to step up, so we're still growing. We got to remember, I mean, Hunter just, what is he, 20, 21, just turned 21 the end of October. I mean,
he's a young buck.
I mean, when I turned 21, there were only two things I cared about, and that was beer and the other to be unnamed. So, I mean, this guy to be in the NFL and performing at the level he is right now already, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. He's a great coach. The thing that worries me with our squad that we have, it actually doesn't even worry me. Like I see with other teams that these guys start running into the cap problems, these young guys, he's built this team to be a team, not individual players getting stats. We know there's individual stars in this team, I think when it comes to contract times for certain guys, they're going to let him walk. I think that's the type of coach he is, that he can coach up anyone and say, you know what, if this guy wants max money, get rid of him. Just get rid of him. We'll get somebody else in there, get him to do the job, because you can see when these other guys were out, even in the Arizona game, when those 3 studs were out, the backups came in there and did a good job. I don't think we have to worry about the salary cap purgatory that a lot of these teams are being put in because of the way he coaches this team. I love it.
All right, so let's pull for the Vikings to win on Sunday. And guys, I got nothing else. Anybody?
No, I think that's about it for me.
No upset specials this week because basically I can't really see a game that be an upset with people benching players and all that this week. So it's me rather difficult this week. So I'm not even going to go there with it. I think we've covered everything we need to cover.
Yeah, there's really no games matter this week to us. Just one.
I'll tell you what, that's gonna be a great way to end Week 17. Vikings Packers Sunday Night Football. I don't know if it's gonna get any better than that anywhere else on Sunday. So I'm pretty stoked for this game, guys.
I'm happy for it.
Yeah, I don't know how you can't be. I mean, it's what you ask for, it's what you want for. You want to be going out, all the cards, all the chips on the table. But that's how you want to do it. I mean, it would be one thing to wrap it up 3 weeks ago. It'd be nice to know that the Packers are sitting in a cellar. But hey, this is what you want. You want to be playing meaningful football right now.
Exactly. All right, guys. I got nothing else. Anybody? All right, then. Let's give it a wrap. And thank you all our listeners at home. And go Vikings. Talk to you guys next week.
That's right.
Happy New Year, everybody. Have a good one.
See ya.
I think Jimmy my eardrums out.
That's right. Go deuces. Peace. That's right. Peace out.
All right, kids. Cutting this thing out here for you, Saturday.
Beers all night long, listening to those devil sounds. Beers and moves, so I see rocky rebels come to me. We will have some fun tonight, drinking, stewing, that's alright. Giving all the best you got, bring another morning slug.